Have you ever wondered what the value of a single pip is? For example, if you buy the euro dollar and the price of the euro dollar goes up 20 pips, how much money did you make? How much money does that translate into? And the opposite happens. What if you buy the euro dollar and it goes down 20 pips? How much money did you lose? If you said, I have no idea to those two questions, then today we're going to fix that, because being able to calculate the value of each individual pip is how we determine what we're going to lose and what we're going to make on every trade we place. Because of that, it is an essential part to trading success, and without it, you are bound to make tons of mistakes and end up going down the path of the 90% of traders that lose their accounts or either quit trading. So let's go ahead and take care of this today, and let me show you an essential part of trading success, which is how to calculate the value of a pip. I'm going to do that right after the intro and disclaimer. Before they roll though, click that subscribe button down below the video to the right hand side if you are interested in Forex at all, because we come out with free videos each and every week here on YouTube. Click that like button to help with the YouTube algorithm, and follow us on Instagram at The Trading Channel. I'll see you right after the intro and disclaimer. Welcome to lesson number 3 on the basics of Forex. In this lesson, we're going to talk about what you actually want in terms of trading, how to calculate profits, and what you don't want in terms of trading, how to calculate your losses. And what I mean by this is that's a terrible W. We're going to restart this whole thing. Just kidding. We are going to restart with that W though. What is the value of a pip? So we know what the foreign exchange market is, we know about currency pairs, and we know what a pip is, but what is the actual value of that pip to you in your trading? Because, well, you probably know this by now. If a market moves up in pips, if you buy and the market moves up in pips, then you're going to make money. If you sell and the market goes down in pips, you're going to lose money. But how do you calculate how much money that is? This is a question I get all the time. How do I calculate my wins and my losses in Forex? And today in this video, what I'm going to show you how to do is determine the value of a pip. So how do we do this? Well, for starters, the value of a pip depends highly on the amount of currency you're trading. What that means is the amount of units that you're trading. So in currency markets, we're trading a set of units, and these units normally come in 4 major lot sizes. 4 major sizes. So if you're trading units of currency, what you want to actually look at, and I'm going to do a graph for this, is the lot size in order to come up with the amount of value per pip, the amount of value each pip is worth. It depends on your trading lot size, or the amount of units that you're trading. And those units, again, are broken down into, most of the time, it's actually 3 major types, but we're going to do a 4th just in case. The 4th one is one that's used very rarely, but you'll understand more about that in just a second. Don't get confused, nothing confusing about this. What we're going to have in this column is the name of whatever lot size you're doing. What we're going to have in this column is the size, and what we're going to have in this column is the value per pip. So value PP, value per pip in this last column. And this is going to be the case for every pair that ends in USD. It's going to be very similar. This is a generalization. Every pair that ends in USD is going to be exactly to this scale. Other currency pairs are going to vary, but not by much. This is a generalization. This is a generalization, but other currency pairs are not going to vary that much from this table. The name of the first size that is very common is a standard lot. So we're going to label this SL. That stands for a standard lot. Now, if you're trading a standard lot, that means you're trading 100,000 units of currency. So if we're trading 100,000 units of currency on any pair that ends in USD, then this is the exact value per pip. If you have one standard lot that you're trading, or if you're trading every 100,000 units you're trading, you are trading at a value of $10 per pip. So if you're trading a standard lot on the euro dollar, that means that every pip is $10. Every pip that it moves is $10. Let's go through the rest of the types of or size of units that you can do first, and then we'll break into more about what they mean and how you can utilize them. The second one is called a mini lot. A mini lot means that you're controlling or holding 10,000 units of a certain currency. And with this being the case, with 10,000 units of a currency, you have a value per pip of $1. So for every 10,000 units of a currency that you hold, there is a value of $1 per pip. That's exactly right on dollar pairs. It's a generalization that is very similar on other pairs as well. And the last lot we're going to take a look at is the micro lot. The micro lot means you're controlling 1,000 units of a certain currency, and that means that you are losing or gaining 10 cents per pip. So every pip that the market moves is going to be 10 cents up or down in your account if you're trading a micro lot. And the last one that we're going to take a look at that we're not going to dive deep into at all is called a nano lot. A nano lot means that you're controlling 100 units of currency, and every movement of a pip is worth a penny. The value per pip is a penny, which is something that we're not even going to worry about. So in the case of the other lots, let's now break into, let's get away from this little section here. And what we're going to do is break into looking at the difference in prices between currency pairs and figuring out how much we gained or lost based on that difference in price. So for instance, if you bought the euro dollar, EUR, at 1.0802 and it went to 1.0902, if you were trading a standard lot and this happened, how much would you gain on that position? How much money is that actually worth? And that's what we're going to determine and talk about up next. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so let's move into this on the euro dollar trade here. If we have the euro dollar at 1.0802, we trade one standard lot, 100,000 units of this currency, and we do so at 1.0802, and this market moves to 1.0902. Going up, we wanted the market to go up, and we take profit at 1.0902. How much money did we make? See if you can calculate how much money we made based on this trade. Remember, a standard lot is 100,000 units of currency, and with that 100,000 units of currency, on any pairs ending in USD, we're making and losing exactly $10. The value of a pip is exactly $10. So let me share with you the equation you need to figure this out. What you need first is the amount of pips. So we're going to look at the amount of pips, which is 100. We went up 100 pips in this particular case, right? So we have 100 pips times the amount or the value per pip in this situation based on your lot size. So if we use a standard lot of 100,000 units, and we know that a standard lot on the euro dollar is equal to $10 per pip, then we would have our amount of pips times $10 per pip because we're using a standard lot. And that we have to multiply by the amount of standard lots. In this case, we just traded one standard lot. So with this being the case, how much money did we make on this 100 pip move on the euro dollar? Well, the money would translate to 100 times 10 because we're using a standard lot, and with a standard lot, we are making and losing $10 per pip. The value per pip is $10. We only traded one standard lot, so therefore 100 times 10 is $1,000 is what you made, or what we would have made on this 100 pip move out of the euro dollar. Now, let's change things up for a second and say we wanted to trade 3 standard lots. In this case, what would change? What number in the equation would we need to change if this was the case and we were trading 3 standard lots instead of 1? Well, if that was the case, we would have to change the third number in this equation. We still have a 100 pip move, right? Pips is right here. We still are trading standard lots, so standard lot is right here. Now we need number of lots. So what's the number of lots? Well, we're trading 3. So that would mean that this 100 pip move, if you were trading 3 standard lots, would equal a $1,000 gain. Now let's look at this in a different way that always helped me to better understand what's actually going on whenever I place trades. So let's move back to placing a buy order with one standard lot on the euro dollar. If you're doing this, essentially, you are telling your broker that you are going to want 100,000 euros. Not 1 million euros. What am I doing? 100,000 euros. So if you're going to purchase 100,000 euros, your brokerage is going to charge you the exchange rate that the market currently has, which is 1.0802. 100,000 times 1.0802 would be, they will charge you $108,002. So that's what you're being charged to get 100,000 euros. Your broker gives you that 100,000 euros. They get $108,002 from you, from your account. Then you are holding that 100,000 euros, waiting on the market to either rise or fall, waiting on the euro dollar to either rise or fall. In this case, you bought the euros and the market went up from 108.02 to 109.02, meaning that you still have the same 100,000 euros that you are holding, but now instead of them having a value of $108,002, they now have a value because of the difference in the exchange rate. The exchange rate has went up. They now have a value of $109,002, and that's where you're getting that $1,000 if you're trading a standard lot. So that's the way a pip works if you're trading a standard lot. Let's go into the way a pip works if you're trading a mini and a micro lot, just to make sure you have a solid grasp on this. We'll keep the math easy with a 100 pip move, except now instead of trading one standard lot, we're going to assume that we're going to do a little bit of a difficult thing here, a little more difficult as we go. Let's assume you want to trade 2 mini lots. So you're trading 2 mini lots. And do you remember what a mini is? A mini is you holding 10,000 units of currency. So if you're trading 2 minis, you're holding 20,000 units of currency. A mini is worth $1 per pip, meaning the value of a pip, if you're trading a mini lot, is $1. So in this case, the market goes up by 100 pips. So our equation would still be pips would be 100 times the value per mini lot, per pip when you're trading a mini lot, which is $1, times the amount of mini lots you're trading, which is 2, meaning that your profit on this trade, if you were trading a mini lot, would be 100 times 1, which is 100, times 2, which is the amount of mini lots you're trading. So you would have a profit of $200 on this particular trade. Now, let's go through the other way of looking at it on a mini lot as well. What you are saying is, broker, I want 20,000 euros. And they are going to, math is going to get a little more difficult here. Hold on. They're going to charge you, let's bring a calculator over, 1.0802 times 20,000. When they do that, they're going to be charging you $21,604. So when they're charging you $21,604, you're holding 20,000 units of euro. So while you hold that 20,000 units of euro, just as in our last example, the euro goes up 100 pips. So you still have that same 20,000 euros, except now you have to multiply that 20,000 units that you're holding times the new exchange rate of 1.0902, which means when you give them that 20,000 units back, they owe you $21,804, giving you that $200 profit. So that's the way profit and loss works in a mini lot. No matter how many it is, we have our equation, right? Pips times the amount per pip, the value per pip, times the amount of lots you decide to trade. One more example of this, and then I'm going to show you how I personally calculate pips and how I use risk management in my own trading. But let's go through this last example first on a micro lot. So let's say you want to trade one micro lot, and you're doing that while you buy that one micro lot, the market's at 1.0802, just as with the other examples. We go up 100 pips. What's our equation look like? Well, we have to do our 100 pips times 10 cents times the amount of micro lots we're trading, which in this case is 1. What does that equal? That means that you would have made $10 on this 100 pip move trading 1 micro lot. So as we do with every other lot size, let's go ahead and look at it in a different way. So you're telling your broker, I want 1,000 units of the euro. And they're telling you, if you want 1,000 units of the euro, we're going to charge you $1,080. And then you say, okay, I'm fine with that. You exchange it, you hold that 1,000 euros until the price rises by 100 pips. And when it does, your same 1,000 euros is now worth $1,090 because of that rise in price. So that's exactly how the value of a pip works when using a certain lot size. Now, for my own personal trading, as I said at the beginning of the video, I actually trade based on a certain percentage of my account value. So the lot size is always a random number, and that's an extremely simple thing to do if you have the right platform. So I'm going to show you my platform and show you how I actually determine the value per pip myself. This was for anyone using MT4 or a brokerage that doesn't allow you to have random lot sizes. So I hope that was helpful. Let's break into the way I actually prepare, have risk management, the way that I calculate value per pip in my own personal trading right now. Okay, so now let's talk about how I personally calculate the value per pip. And first, let's talk about why you even need all of this information. Why do you need to understand how much every pip is worth depending on the lot size that you're trading? Well, the reason is because of risk management. You want to understand that so that you can know how much of your account you're risking per trade. Whatever your stop loss is, and also how much you can make per trade. But the more important part of this equation is how much you can lose. So with that being the case, the reason we want to understand the value of the pip is because we want to understand how much we're risking on each trade. With that being the case, the way I use risk management and calculate the value per pip is a lot different than what I just showed you, because my brokerage, as we discussed in the beginning, and my platform allow me to trade completely random unit sizes. So for me, it's a lot easier than having to do any of that math. I learned that at the beginning, and I know that's something a lot of you may have to use, but for those of you who have the same brokerage as me, or for those of you who have a brokerage that allows you to use random units to place orders, this is what I personally do. I want to share this with you as well. So all I do, if I want to place a trade, let's say I wanted to buy the New Zealand dollar right now, which is the currency pair we're on, I would go to create a new order. I would have a market order in, and I would set my stop loss. And let's do this first. Let's go ahead and say I want to buy the New Zealand dollar right now. I want to have a stop loss below this red candle. So that's my stop loss, and I have a target at a 2-to-1 risk reward. So if this is the case, I now have my trade set up. So what I'll do is go to trade, create new order. It's going to be a buy order on the New Zealand dollar, and I know where my stop loss is. It's at 100 pips. So 100 pips is my stop loss. I know my target's at 200 pips, around a 2-to-1 risk reward. With this being the case, my units for me are completely irrelevant, and this is the reason. I'm trading based on a certain risk of my account with every position that I take out. The certain risk for me is between 1 and 2%. So for me, the easy way that I do this is I go here to Trading View, I place my order, and I put in what amount of risk I want to use. As you can see right here on the order form, it says % risk. When I put in 2% risk, you can see that it shows me the size in units that I'm actually purchasing. And this number is completely random. Again, some brokerages may only allow you to place trades based on standard lots. In that case, you would need to trade 2 standard lots, and it would be completely different for you. But for the way I trade for my brokerage and my platform, I'm allowed to trade based on a certain percentage of my account value, which is what I like to do for every trade I place. Therefore, the lesson we just went over is kind of irrelevant for me at this point in my trading, considering the technology that I use here over on the TradingView platform in order to determine the amount of risk I'm going to use in my personal trading account with every trade that I place. So I wanted to give you both of those so that you now at least understand how to calculate the value of a pip based on your order size. And also, you know now that you can go over to TradingView and you can see the amount of units you need to purchase based on the percentage risk of your account. We're going to go over a lot more of that later on in the course in terms of how to calculate risk per position and things like that. It's going to be later on. Right now, I just want you to understand how to calculate the value of a pip, and I wanted to show you how I personally calculate the value of a pip. Later on, and in the next lesson, we are going over what leverage really means. So in that video, in the next video, we're going to talk a lot about leverage. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you got value out of it. Hopefully now you understand exactly how to calculate the value of a pip, and I'll talk to you in the next video. See you soon.